Tammy Croston, and this is Franklin Boulevard Media. I grew up in Gastonia, North Carolina. I had a routine mammogram. It was time for my yearly mammogram, and I went to the doctor, of course, to have my mammogram. And a couple days later, they called me and said that it was something that showed up on my mammogram and that I needed to come in and have another mammogram. Made an appointment. Of course, the second one showed up that there was a tumor and that they needed to, send me to a specialist to get it looked at. He looked at my x-rays and determined that there was a tumor and cancer. He determined that, the doctor determined that I needed to have surgery to remove the tumor. He looked at it and said, it was a small tumor and that it was in the one stage. And so at that point, of course, they scheduled me for surgery. It was going to be outpatient. And I went, to my surgery. They scheduled me outpatient. It was maybe about 2 weeks from my diagnosis that I had my surgery outpatient. And they did the surgery. After the surgery, of course, I was, able to go home and everything. And, of course, after you have your surgery, they always look at your tumor and see what type of cancer it is, how to treat it, what to do after that. So then they called me. Well, actually, I had an appointment a week later to discuss my surgery and what they had found. And they came back and said that they needed to go in and do another surgery because they realized that the tumor had encroached a little further in my breast. And they were afraid that it possibly could spread. And so he determined that they needed to go back in and take out more tissue and analyze it. And he wanted to be safe to make sure they got it all. They wasn't at this point sure that they had gotten it all. And so, and I was diagnosed in October of 2002. And I had my surgery in November, and then I had my second surgery in December. They had to go in and take more tissue, and just to be sure that they had gotten it all. And this time I had to stay in the hospital for overnight. After my second surgery, of course, I got to go home. It was a process. They had to put a drainage tube on me. I had to wear that for a while. I had to, of course, heal after my surgery. And then maybe about 4 weeks later, I had to go back and see the doctor, and they started my treatments, and they determined that I needed to have not chemo, but I had to do radiation. So I went through radiation for 6 weeks, and that was 5 days a week. During that time, I did work. I was able to, function, do the through the treatments and everything. I did get a little tired toward the end, but I was blessed to be able to still do the things that I like to do and still be able to function, because that was what I was afraid of, that I would be dependent on others. And, the whole process, I was able to basically continue my life. I had a few days toward the end where I would get tired and a little, I wouldn't say depressed, but maybe a little discouraged. But, I had good support. During the time, my process of going through my treatment, I did join a group therapy that I talked to other ladies, and they really encouraged me. I developed a a mentor in that group, and she would call me at least once a week and check on me, and that really helped because she had been through, of course, breast cancer, and she was now finished with all her treatments. So she encouraged me a lot. I had a lot of friends and family. And like I said, the process, it was just a day-by-day thing, a journey day by day, and you had to stay encouraged. You had to just believe that you were going to make it through. And as I said, I was blessed because I was in the one stage, and my doctor felt confident that I was going to get better. But you had to go through the process in order to get better. I would say take it day by day. I would say, listen to your doctors. Everybody's cancer is different. Try not to go out on the internet. Try not to discuss your diagnosis with anyone else. That's what my doctor told me. He's like, because everybody's cancer is different. I would tell them to stay hopeful, to get supportive friends and family. Continue to try to live your life like you were before. And I know in some, depends on the cancer, if that's possible. But try to stay positive. I listen to a lot of my favorite gospel music. I read books. I took walks. And at that time I was not married, so I lived alone. I would say, try to be around as many people as you possibly can, because the more you're alone, the more you sort of kind of become fearful. So I would say, find a purpose where you can help someone else. And at that time, I had a friend that was going through a difficult time. Her father had been diagnosed with cancer. So that sort of took me away from my situation and made me sort of kind of focus on her and, help her through her difficult time. And, of course, his was stage 4. So, I was able to, take the focus off of me. So I would tell them, take the focus off of you, try to. And I know that's hard because when you hear cancer, you think of death sentence, so you get a little scared and you get a little fearful. So I would tell other women, it's not a death sentence, especially now with so much technology. I mean, it's probably totally different than when I was going through it. So I would tell them to stay hopeful, try to find things that inspire you. Just keep a positive attitude, day by day. Now, you're not going to do it every single day, but try your best and to find something where you're helping others. And I think that would take your mind off of it, and just try to stay hopeful and encourage and find the strength to get through each day.